A city at night is a collection of stories, millions, happening all at once. Most are small, a first date, a late-night work session, a quiet argument. But sometimes, one story breaks through the noise and becomes something darker. This story begins on a cold January night, high above the glittering streets of downtown. It ends with a fall, a lie, and a single digital file, a screenshot. Just a simple picture of a phone screen, but it held a secret. This screenshot was a digital breadcrumb left by accident that would unravel a carefully constructed alibi. It's about Luca Moreno, a bartender who claimed he was miles away when a woman fell from a rooftop. He had a believable story, the kind police hear all the time. But the truth is often hidden in the data. Ones and zeros our devices create every second. We think we control our digital lives, but we leave traces everywhere. Sometimes those traces tell a very different story than the one we want people to believe. Investigators dug into the code behind a simple image, becoming digital detectives. They looked beneath the picture, at the hidden information, the metadata. In this case, it was cached metadata. A ghost in the machine, a temporary memory your phone holds onto. For Luca, this digital ghost was about to expose a lie he thought was safe. This journey is also about perspective, about noticing the small inconsistencies others miss. Often, it's a woman's attention to detail that pushes for answers when everyone else is ready to move on. In a world saturated with information, the truth isn't always in the headlines. Sometimes it's tucked away in the fine print or in the metadata of a single screenshot. And that's where this story truly begins. Details matter. In a police investigation, they're everything. In our modern world, the most important details are often digital, silent witnesses to our lives. This story is a reminder of how our digital habits can betray us, but it's also about the people who know how to read those signs. In this case, that perspective came from women, friends of the victim who felt something was wrong. They didn't have technical expertise at first, just a feeling that the easy answers weren't right. This instinct is often dismissed as overthinking, but what if it's a heightened form of observation? It's the ability to notice a shift in tone in a text or a detail in a photo that seems out of place. Behind every data point, there's a human action, a choice, a motive. So as we unravel this case, remember, it's not just about metadata and location pings. It's a human story about the search for truth. A group of women, armed with intuition and a growing digital understanding, refused to let a convenient lie stand. They knew the truth wasn't just in what people said, but in what their digital lives revealed. And they made sure someone was listening to what the data had to say. In the end, it was their persistence that made all the difference. Sometimes, the smallest digital detail is the loudest clue. And sometimes, it takes a woman's eye to see it. It happened on a Friday, January 16th, 2026. The rooftop bar at the Meridian Hotel was busy, full of laughter and city lights. Chloe was there with friends, seen talking to bartender Luca Moreno. He was charming, charismatic, the kind of guy who made everyone feel special. Then, chaos. A scream, shattering glass, people rushing to the edge. Chloe was gone. She had fallen 30 stories to the street below. Panic erupted. The city lights suddenly seemed cold and indifferent. Police arrived to a scene of overturned chairs and shocked witnesses. They started piecing together Chloe's last moments. The name that kept coming up was Luca, the bartender. But Luca was nowhere to be found. His shift had ended an hour before. Coworkers confirmed he clocked out at 10 p.m. The fall happened just after 11. The initial theory, a tragic accident, maybe too much to drink, maybe a risky photo. But Chloe's friends didn't buy it. She was careful, afraid of heights. They told police about Luca, about a quiet argument earlier in the evening. They insisted he was there when Chloe fell. But Luca had an alibi, a very good one. He claimed he was at home, miles away, after his shift. There was no evidence to suggest he was lying. The story seemed headed for a sad but closed case. But Chloe's friends weren't convinced. They pushed for answers, refusing to let the story end there. Sometimes the truth hides in the details others overlook, and this case was far from over. Luca Moreno was calm and cooperative when questioned. He said he finished his shift at 10, took the subway home, and spent the night watching movies. His story was clean, his time card matched, and co-workers saw him leave. Police checked subway cameras, but the crowds made it impossible to confirm his presence. His phone records showed nothing suspicious, no calls or texts around the time of the incident. Luca even offered up his phone for inspection. He admitted to a brief, tense conversation with Chloe, but claimed he left her with friends. His co-workers backed him up. There was no evidence placing him back at the hotel. The investigation stalled. Chloe's friends were frustrated. Luca's alibi was like a fortress. No witnesses, no video, no digital contradiction. The case seemed destined to be closed as an accident. But Chloe's best friend, Maya, couldn't let it go. She had a feeling, one she couldn't ignore. So she started digging, determined to find what everyone else had missed. Sometimes, the truth is just waiting for someone to look a little closer, and Maya was ready to do just that. The search for answers was about to take a digital turn. Maya couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. She started searching through Chloe's digital life, messages, photos, anything that might be a clue. Most of it was ordinary, until she found a screenshot in a folder of miscellaneous images. It was a picture of Luca's dating app profile. At first it seemed irrelevant, maybe just gossip, maybe nothing. The screenshot showed Luca's profile picture, name, age, and a short bio. No date or time was visible. Maya almost ignored it, but something about it felt important. She sent the image to the lead detective, explaining Chloe and Luca's rocky relationship. The detective thanked her but didn't see it as a breakthrough. Still, he forwarded it to the digital forensics unit. It was a long shot, but sometimes that's all you have. The screenshot sat in evidence, waiting for someone to look deeper. Maya's instinct kept the clue from being lost. Sometimes, the smallest detail is the key. And this screenshot was about to change everything. In the digital age, even a throwaway image can hold the truth. All it takes is someone willing to see it. The screenshot was low priority, just another image in a digital folder. But a female analyst with a knack for patterns took a closer look. She wasn't just looking at the image, but at the data attached to it. Most people know photos contain metadata, date, time, sometimes GPS. But screenshots are different. They usually don't have GPS data. However, the analyst knew about cached metadata, temporary data apps store in the background. When you take a screenshot, sometimes your phone captures a snapshot of that cached data. It's a digital ghost, invisible to most, but a goldmine for forensics. The analyst ran special software to extract hidden data from the screenshot. She was looking for anything: a timestamp, a network ID, a location. Then she found it. Buried in the file's code was cached metadata from the dating app. It contained two critical pieces of information: a timestamp and location data. The timestamp recorded the exact second the screenshot was taken. The location came from the app, not the phone's GPS. The app had cached the phone's last known location to show nearby profiles. That location was now embedded in the screenshot's code. The ghost in the machine was about to speak, and it would change everything. The metadata told a story that shattered Luca Moreno's alibi. The screenshot was taken at 10:58 p.m., minutes before Chloe fell. According to Luca, he was at home, miles away, at that time. But Chloe's phone took the screenshot at 10:58 p.m. The real bombshell was the location data. The cached metadata included GPS coordinates, not from Luca's apartment, not from Chloe's location, but from the rooftop of the Meridian Hotel. At 10:58 p.m., someone using Luca's profile was on that rooftop. It could only have been him. The perfect alibi was destroyed. Investigators brought Luca in again, this time armed with digital proof. They showed him the screenshot, explained the metadata, and pinpointed the location. Faced with undeniable evidence, Luca's story crumbled. He admitted he'd gone back to the rooftop, argued with Chloe, and lied about being there. He claimed her fall was an accident, but he had lied to the police. The truth was in the data all along. The digital ghost had spoken, and justice was finally within reach. Sometimes the smallest digital trace is the loudest confession, and this time, it was enough. This case wasn't solved by a single heroic detective. It was solved by a chain of observations, people paying close attention. Chloe's friends noticed the tension with Luca and refused to accept the easy story. Maya, her best friend, sifted through digital remains and found the screenshot. She sensed its importance even when others dismissed it. The female forensics analyst looked deeper, interrogating the file for hidden truths. She knew digital devices don't always tell the whole story up front. It takes the right questions and the right perspective to find the answers. This chain of women, each contributing their unique skills, pieced together the puzzle. They combined emotional intelligence with technical skill. Their attention to detail, emotional, digital, and technical, made the difference. In a world of information overload, their intuition was a survival skill. Sometimes, a woman's intuition is just a heightened state of observation. And in this case, it was the key to justice. The truth needed more than data. It needed someone willing to see it. And these women did. The case of Luca Moreno is more than a digital detective story. It's a lesson for our times. The truth is often hidden in plain sight, concealed by our willingness to accept simple stories. This story urges us to question, to look for inconsistencies, to trust our instincts. It's a call for digital literacy, understanding how our devices chronicle our lives. Our digital footprint can be more honest than our words. Knowing how metadata works is now a fundamental part of modern safety. For women, this story validates the importance of noticing small details, online and off. That instinct to screenshot, to question, to feel uneasy is not paranoia, it's survival. As this case shows, that data can be the key to uncovering the truth. Trust those instincts. The truth leaves traces, sometimes physical, sometimes digital. Our job is to learn how to look for them, to listen to the quietest witnesses. In an age of misinformation, the truth is real. It just needs someone willing to dig. Justice depends on those who refuse to stop searching. Sometimes the smallest detail is the one that matters most. And sometimes it's a woman's eye that finds it. Never stop questioning, because the full story is always worth finding.